Fuck it.
3, 2, 1, fuck it.
I like you sang it like the musical theater major you are.
That's right.
3, 2, 1,
3,
fuck it.
2, 1, fuck it.
It was beautiful. That's beautifully done.
Musical theater, it's been a big
It's a big thing.
big topic in my life
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. We both did donate to a fundraiser for a theater department recently. Did we not?
We did, and I attended.
Oh,
I was an attendee.
Oh yeah,
at the fundraiser.
Okay, and
I don't know if I still say I'm not going to say what high school it is.
Nope, that's fine. But I'd like to know how the fundraiser was.
I'm still not going to say what high school it was. No, I'm just. It was. First of all, I was at an Elks club, which I think I talked about last year for our longtime listeners.
Didn't we do this a year ago?
Yes, which I love that it was at an Elks club. Because there's regular Elks there.
Yeah.
If you don't know what an Elks Club is, it's Veteran of Foreign Wars of America and Best People on Earth. BPOE is what their title thing is.
What does that stand for?
It used to just be all veterans, and I have found out recently, because I was like, well, okay, we're not doing really foreign wars much. Thank goodness.
Says you.
Yeah, but apparently it's not all just veterans. It's kind of just sort of a club now.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly veterans, but...
Okay.
Anyway, my great uncle and aunt were part of one, and I have a lot of Elks experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he was a grand poobah.
The grand
she was a sweetheart
poobah
queen. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love this all so very much.
For any of you that have ever seen the Flintstones, that's basically what it is. Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it.
We just aged ourselves.
Drink a bunch of scotch and sodas all night and pee very yellow. It's like the worst bathrooms in the world. It's always very yellow pee. It's like you throw in a water every now and then, Suck on some ice.
Watch out where
anyway,
the Huskies
this isn't
go.
about the Elks, but no, it was for a musical, and this musical is kind of cool. It's which one is it? It's the rock one.
Hold on, I can and Google it real quick.
It's not a School of Rock.
No, it's not School of Rock.
Rock of Ages is the teen edition.
Yeah.
So the people that are doing the musical, the kids, I should say, kids that are doing the musical, they do they review 3 of the little teaser songs that they're going to be doing.
Fantastic.
I will be seeing this musical in the next few weeks.
Yes.
And I know someone in it.
Yeah.
But we don't need to mention that. These are all underage people, and they don't need the heat. But
fair.
The point was we were supposed to dress up like 80s rock.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who have listened to the podcast, you know that I grew up in the 80s. I was there. And so it's funny because a lot of people that were alive in the 80s, they didn't dress that way.
No.
Especially that are sort of my age or your age or younger.
How dare you?
They didn't okay, so Motley Crue was dressed that way, but they were actually older,
Yeah.
They're in their 60s and 70s. The people on Sunset Strip that you were watching in the 80s dressed that way. But we were wearing, double Izods and acid wash jeans and, things like that. However, I was in rock music and in metal and stuff. So yeah, band t-shirts and jean jackets with buttons and patches and bandanas and yes, there were some what do you call them? The wristbands with leather wristbands with spikes and studs, and there was some of that.
Fantastic.
So I dressed up, and the party I was with dressed up, and everybody looked awesome.
Fantastic.
Very much sort of ripped up, ripped up fishnets over green tights and big hair and Def Leppard shirts, and I wore a Guns N' Roses shirt that I just have.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's not a whole lot different because I this is my long hair. I don't need a wig, and So I painted my beard purple and my hair purple. And here's what's interesting is that I'm gonna send you a picture. No one else is gonna see this, which is funny. But what's funny is that like I don't have any tattoos.
Oh, I saw this on you.
Yeah,
it's like a shirt or something.
I don't. Well, I got like fake tattoos to put on, so I did like sleeves all over. But I'm still tattooless.
Oh.
But I wore I made my own backstage pass for the kid that I know that's in it. That was a guest of his with all access. And
fantastic.
But I was totally tatted up and leather straps. And
by the way, I'd like to point out in this photo there is a water on the counter in the Elks bathroom, so I know it was there.
That's my water.
When I fucking thought.
That's my water in the Elks bathroom selfie.
When did you buy that Guns N' Roses T-shirt?
80s.
You've had it? You've had this fucking
probably,
T-shirt for
I don't know. I have like 3 of them. And they all are so comfortable. I don't know which one is like the Target knockoff or the one that was actually from then.
That's fair.
I imagine one of them is but yeah.
That is excellent.
But so it was fun, and I was like, God, what are they going to play? So at these events, you get your drinks. There's raffles. There's giveaways.
Yeah.
The stuff that we donated was upstairs. Like the bar stuff was upstairs. They made all the old people walk upstairs and downstairs all night long.
Just heard a bunch of hips cracking the whole time.
Yeah. But like all of our stuff, I guess there was a silent auction too beforehand. I still don't know, who won the jingle.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun.
And you were giving away studio time or guitar lessons?
No, I gave away a 2-hour music career consultation.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
In 2 hours, you're going to tell someone that, huh?
No, I'm not gonna tell them everything in 2 hours, but I can at least get an idea of what they're into, and then work on the upsell.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. They're probably listening.
Oh, shit.
Well, you're going to need more than 2 hours, but that'll get you started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you can get you okay, here's the first thing to clean up.
Hey, look, it's for the kids.
Your act. So is Wu-Tang. Speaking of Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
You know what I did this weekend?
I do want to well, hold on. Here's the things I learned from this.
Okay, fantastic.
Because I think it's really instructive for musicians right now.
Yes.
First of all, it's hard to do an 80s rock thing where people are supposed to dance.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of 80s rock dance songs. Pour Some Sugar on Me, great for strippers. But
most of the songs are great for strippers.
Yeah, but if you're going to play Kickstart My Heart, no one knows how to dance to that.
I do.
But it's so they started throwing it to 80s music, which is fine. Play some Prince or Michael Jackson. That's going to get people dancing.
Fantastic.
Okay, and I'm not going to rip on the DJ, okay? I'm not going to rip on him because he's a kid. He learned how to DJ last year.
Oh, that's great.
So he doesn't really know yet. But he started playing music from the 70s and then music from he played off the wall Michael Jackson. And then he played 90s music too. He played De La Soul, and hey, you can play that all day for me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't we all dressed like 80s, there was a theme to it.
Yeah.
And I think that he thinks that that's just sort of his mom likes that music, and so that's going to work, whatever. So that's cool.
Are you St. Jamesing this right now?
A little bit. Oh God, the moms were so pissed at me there. I was just motherfucker, I'm just going off. And he's like, shut up, he's a kid. I know, but I was a kid too, and I didn't I knew some things.
Yeah, but you're an anomaly. You know that.
But listen, okay, so. But here's what you need to know. So he would play these songs, and instead of learn how to mix into the next song, he would just turn the speed up and down. Yeah, so Kickstart My Heart was but he wouldn't get to a beat with it. He's on to something if he does that. But all he would do is speed it up and slow it down and then fade it out into another song that was not the same beat. And this isn't a knock on him as a DJ. I think it's a knock on his generation on how they listen to music. Because he thinks that speeding up and slowing down itself is a DJ trick. And it is like probably within 10 or 20 BPMs, but not. It's not that. You can't do that. He just found that. He found that knob, you know what I mean, on the board, and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to mess with this. And secondarily, because of the way kids listen to music, and again, this is not me ripping on him. I think it's just the way that his generation listens to music. He would get into like a song, and when it got to the part that was like the secondary part, like the bridge, like let's say, I'll just use Kickstart My Heart as an example. When it gets to the bam,
when we started this band,
when we started this band, yeah, that part, he just thought that's the end of the song. Like every song that had like the breakdown part, and we're talking like a minute and a half into them, right? That's like a minute and a half, 2 minutes into these.
Yeah.
But every single rock song, especially of the 80s, kind of has this like breathe period where everyone's supposed to kind of sing along and like get ready to rock again, and then it comes back in and it's big. And he was not giving anyone the chance to do that because in his mind, that's where the song lost interest, I think. That it was like, oh, well, yeah, this isn't an up-tempo song. Because they're so used to songs being of the same tempo the whole time. And, I mean, and he did it on, like, 80s dance songs, rock songs. It didn't matter. Every one of the songs was, like, basically a minute and a half. And then he would, like, once everyone was really into it, then he would, like, just start a new song.
Fantastic.
It was really problematic for me, but I thought about it and I realized, I think it's just a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just something where like the kids think that like, well, I'm not going to play the whole song. And once it starts going down, like I'm going to keep it going. But when you start a new song, it starts slow, right? It starts off with an intro. So it was interesting to see that and hear that in real time. I saw a chick there that I went to high school with.
Oh, wow.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere. She's like running around with like, okay, here's another thing. Here's another thing. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't care if everybody's listening that went to this.
I don't care.
Because some of the people, because we're sponsors of this thing, our podcast sponsored part of it. So like we're in the, we're in the musical
we're
like
in the yearbook.
guidebook. Yeah, we're in the whole thing. So somebody's going to listen to this from there. But here's the thing. There was a trivia contest. And you had to buy like a ticket and it's like 80s trivia.
Yeah.
And it's questions like, what was the highest grossing film of the 80s? What movie made Wayfarer sunglasses popular? Okay, those are two like nearly impossible questions to answer.
Well, kind of.
I can give you the answer.
Yeah. Go for it. What's the answer?
Oh, here's another great one. What piece of clothing did the movie Flashdance make popular?
There's
two answers to that.
Did the same kid who was running the DJ booth write these questions?
Yeah. It was just like people were just Googling 80s shit and then just kind of went with it. But like if you know Flashdance, you're like, oh, well, is it leg warmers?
Leg warmers? Yeah, that'd be my first choice.
Or is it the torn sweatshirt off the shoulder?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was both. But leg warmers existed before that movie.
Yeah.
And Wayfarer sunglasses, what it was risky business. That was the answer they were looking for.
Yeah.
But like the 80s, highest grossing movie of the 80s is E.T. at the time. But if you count Star Wars and the releases after
Empire and Return of the Jedi,
it would be Empire. Yeah. Because if you include VHS and DVD, and then now it's on Disney, like no one's watching E.T. today, but people are still watching Empire.
Ooh, I'm going to watch E.T. again very soon. Here. Yes, I'm going to. And the reason I'm going to is because the person I have
You've seen Empire more than E.T., I bet.
Well, but you also know what kind of nerd I am, and of course, Empire and Wrath of Khan are two of the tent poles. The tent poles upon which I will build my church of science fiction.
Yes, I agree.
So yes, that is. So for me, yes, Empire.
Yes. So there were crazy like trivia questions that did. The worst thing about a trivia contest is when there's not one exact answer that everyone knows that you can agree on. And so there were a few that everyone was like, I don't know, John.
Yeah,
might be. And okay, but here's the other funny thing: because they're kids. Okay, and God bless them because they did all this work. there's like 35 fucking trivia questions, and you go away with like a pen and a piece of paper, and you had to write it down. Have you ever made a list of 35 things on a piece of paper? It is, the font has to be so small.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I heard this joke last week that, like, how fucked up is it that Gen X had to teach their parents how to use a printer and their kids how to use a printer? Because the kids don't use printers.
Yeah, these iPads and tablets and shit.
And so they had to print it. It had zero margins, zero gutters. It was right to the fucking edge of the page with little sunglasses and little guitars. And, it was, hey, look, it was in color. Someone printed it like color on it. But it also was like all the way to the bottom. Like I was like, God, who taught this person how to use a printer? And I thought, oh my God, it's just a kid getting as much on it as they can. The fuck they care.
Yeah.
But it was difficult to look at, I will tell you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But anyway, it was a great event. I think we raised a shitload of money for the program.
Good.
And listen, we've railed about this before, but if you can support your local high school music program, especially when it comes to musicals in the spring, it's a huge expense that they have to put on. And the city doesn't, the county doesn't really get the money there. It's not enough. You're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. And so it's really good that we can help them out so that these kids will at least have that experience. Yeah. And we can keep some musicians, possible for the future.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, it was really fun. It was fun.
Good. I love this idea because, so the DJ thing, I understand your problem. I'm going to stew on it for a second. Okay. I love that this kid is fucking around and finding out. I really do love that that's what's going on. He learned to do it, kind of loved it, found a way to do it, and he'll figure it out. I mean, but God, just to turn that knob in front of a fuckload of people and go, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, he got the experience in front of there are hundreds of people there.
A fuckload of angry old people.
Yeah, and he gets to put, on his resume, just like I did when I was 16, I just played the Elks Club.
Yeah, there you go.
He's on the same track as I am, buddy, although I probably got a little bit more money. But
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But he got to play an Elks Club, man.
To be fair, you did also rob people at knife point in the bathroom, so of course you made a little bit more money on that one.
Rob that's a hard way to put asked aggressively. Or tricked an old veteran out of his money. I would say, back in the day, do you know what pickle tickets are?
No.
Okay. So you're not a part of this.
No, not at all.
Back in the day, Elks Clubs used to do illegal gambling. And it's called a pickle ticket. And you would buy these pickle tickets, and then you would tear off a little piece of it.
Okay.
You had to tear off 4 pieces. And if you got the numbers right or whatever, you won the kitty, the pot.
The pot of,
and they would do multiple pots during the night. And I remember asking my uncle, I was like, what is the, he was like, oh, it's just gambling. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but you just can't call it gambling. It's a pickle ticket.
Yeah.
And apparently there's somebody will maybe give us the background to this. I haven't done the research on it, but pickle ticket comes from the 20s or 30s or something. It comes from outlying gambling. But yeah, pickle tickets. So what you would do back in the day is you'd be talking to one of the older gentlemen at the bar with his bourbon, and you'd have your Shirley Temple or whatever. And
fantastic.
You're like, hey, can I get you a pickle ticket?
Yeah.
And you buy him a pickle ticket, but you would buy 2, and then you would keep one. What's up? Yeah, and then I actually won a few of them.
Very nice.
So did I steal money? It's hard to say.
By the way, there
would also be older men who were a little too drunk on their highballs.
Oh, that's fair.
Who left pickle tickets in the
I don't
bathroom.
think their balls are that high anymore at that age.
I knew he'd do that.
I'll see myself out.
They left their pickle tickets in the bathroom without water, and you could pick it up, and there was a winner there. Yeah. And so you could turn in that pickle ticket for more pickle tickets and win the money.
Fantastic.
And I will now stop saying pickle ticket. Okay.
I have a person that is close to me, I will not mention whom at this moment, has been making some really, as he puts it, god-awful music for fun with his friends.
Nice.
And
that's what you should be doing.
His DJ name is DJ Pickle Tickler. So I could hear this entire time. Yeah. And I was just enjoying that entire time. By the way, doing a couple of pots of Pickle Rick, doing a couple of pots a night sounds like something an old naive Christian grandmother thinks the kids are doing after hours in the parking lot of the.
Stop your damn pickle tickling down there.
Stop doing a couple of pots outside my house.
I know what you're doing with your pickles. I can hear you down there, motherfuckers.
I can hear you down now.
Here's the thing. I want to wrap this up because I want to hear about your weekend. Lovely people that put this together. All the parents really worked really hard. All the kids were there from like 4 until 11. They were working really hard, including rehearsals and the schedules. And like, of course, I find something to make fun of or whatever. But the point is that it was a great event. I think it should be noted that we won the costume contest.
Of course you fucking did.
I won a bucket hat. I also won like a bottle of wine or something. I don't know.
I would rather it was a bucket of wine and a bottle hat. Can we figure that out?
So there are, and one of our listeners, and we don't need to to make ties here or whatever, but she did a fantastic job with her end of things. She was really helping the moms and I guess the dads did some work, but I met all the moms that were busting ass. Per usual, the moms were busting ass. But so support your local high school and their musical, and even if it's not your kid, you can be the uncle, you can be the aunt, you can support, show up, make sure that they care, they know you care, and because I do care, and it's fun to watch people blossom since the last musical. I've seen some of the same kids grow up now. Yeah, it's great. And so, great event from everyone, and it was really fun, really well put together.
Great, I'm glad. I hope you couldn't hear the leaf blower that somebody was blasting around outside right there. I think you were talking over it. So during that section, feel free to mute my fucking microphone. Jesus Christ,
I probably will.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was quite adventurous. We had a private event up in Aspen this weekend. Me and Chris, my guitar player, and Trevor, the whoopee, the drummer, and it was really, really, really fun. Chris and I went up a day early so we could go to Woody Creek and visit Hunter S. Thompson's old haunts, and Did
you do acid and shoot guns and shit?
Basically, we did that.
Nice.
Because that's on brand for me. Mr. Meditate and eat your blueberries, which is what
after you jogged.
After I'm going to exercise before I get blottoed out on LSD.
Take care of you.
I am taking care of me. I'm expanding my mind and my consciousness.
And take care of the higher you.
I am touching the vagina of God. Man, that's going on a t-shirt. I've touched the vagina of God.
Clip that.
Clipped. I'm looking forward to seeing what that reel looks like.
I don't know why we're not getting views on YouTube. That's weird.
Cocksucker.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, exactly.
When you put that out at the bottom of when you upload shit, it says made for kids, not made for kids.
No, definitely not made for children.
I'm like, why do I even have this button?
Yeah, exactly. If I'm me, I don't think I've ever clicked that button ever. Now our friend Bradley Weaver constantly makes music for children. He makes like really, really fun little records. They're great. Yeah. Him. I said, we see you're consistently making content for children. Is this made? Perfect. Punch that button.
Yeah.
Not these fucks.
No.
So we went up a day early and fucked around and found out a little bit. I've never kind of had the time to really explore. We went to Glenwood and stayed there because it's quite a bit cheaper than staying in Aspen. It's about 45 minutes away, and it was just easier for us to be up there. But we were, Trevor got up the next day and we all went off to Aspen and had ourselves a great old time, and was. Driving back, it started snowing, and I found out that Chris's night vision isn't so great, and so I made him pull over at one point. It was like, "You're done driving. You're done driving."
Wow.
Yeah, I'm driving now. And we then drove from Aspen to Glenwood to our hotel in the snow, blasting Wu-Tang because it is for the fucking children.
That's right.
And it was
That's right.
it was just it was the most fun. Like just had a great just had a great fucking time, and drove back on Sunday, hung out with the kid, and took it pretty fucking ezy. It was great. Played a birthday party for a gentleman who owns a ranch up there, and with some people I am acquainted with, and it was a lovely adventure for everybody involved.
I love private gigs in Aspen.
Oh yeah.
Except for the 3-hour drive.
That doesn't
3-hour drive.
That doesn't really bother me. I love Aspen as a town.
Should just fly in now.
I mean, I could take the jet, but I do like the act of the road trip. I did go to one of my favorite photographers, Peter Lick, has a gallery in a friend of mine turned me on to him a while ago, probably, I don't know, maybe like 18 months ago or something like that. So not really a while ago. And his photography is absolutely amazing. L-I-K, Peter L-I-K is his last name.
Okay.
And it is gorgeous. And it's the way that it's produced is I could stand in the gallery and just stare at these fucking things. But if you front light them and then you turn the lights down, it's almost like a sunset happens in the photo. It's really fucking crazy how these things are done. And it's on. I think it's on regular old photo paper. It's the way that he shoots it. And it's fucking crazy. And so, as if the sun goes down, you see the silhouettes of things start to show up, and the sky will change color. But it's fucking crazy.
Wow.
So, really, really fucking cool thing. Went and had some really good bourbon at the Aspen Public House.
Oh,
and
nice.
Went to go check into our hotel room, which was in Aspen, and it was just way too fucking small. There was no way we were going to get us all in there, and so I, got us another hotel somewhere else there was a music festival going, or a show going on there that night with Shaky Graves and the Revivalists were playing. So it was just assholes to elbows, ski season, so we just got the fuck out of there.
Was it Belly Up?
No, Billy Idol was at Belly Up. I looked at trying to get tickets after because we were done early enough. We could have gone to the show. Yeah. But it was the only thing that was left was a $1,500 VIP experience. I was like, well, guys, go fuck yourselves. I'm going without you. I'm going to go shake laser guns with Steve Stevens.
No. There you go.
But yeah, we just didn't go. It was fine. Some other friends of mine went to it and went to the other show as well. So it was a really fun adventure up there, though.
What a lot of people don't get, it's so funny because there's some shitty hotel rooms in Aspen. There just are. There's some newer stuff, and then there's some stuff that was left over from 78 that is just a mess.
Yeah.
Or 82. It's just a mess. And it's a destination, so if you're trying to go skiing, the whole point is you're going to be out on the slopes all day and then in the bar and the whatever.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
A lot of people don't care, but I do. If I go in there and I'm this hotel, there's ripped upholstery and that doesn't work. And God, the hills and Aspen proper is a problem. There's not great food there. There's not great stuff. It's much better to go away and then kind of do your time there and then go away. And it's really strange to me that it's so rich.
Yeah.
And I've loved playing gigs up there and loved playing privates and stuff too. But
you love playing with privates up there?
Always. I'll play with privates anywhere,
except in public. Thank you very much. I of course immediately start doing property value searches when I'm there. How much is a fucking house? How much does a house cost? The lowest in my that would have the amenities that I would need was $1.8 million
for a condo.
For a condo,
yeah.
It was rather nuts. But such is life.
Well, that's the thing is because I know some people that live up there still that live in Carbondale.
Yeah.
So it's in between. It's about halfway in between Glenwood and that.
Yeah.
And you can still get a ranch up there, but now there's a suburb there out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I grew up. I knew some people that had built back in the day, my Uncle Willie, who was not really an uncle, just a friend of my dad that drank
you
Coors.
called Uncle? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he built a house like right next to a guy that built a house out of tires and beer bottles, and that's when you could do that shit, you know?
Yes, I love that shit.
Like those were the old mountain crazy people.
Like Dick
And then I'm
Pernicki.
sure like later on their kids got that house and sold it for $1 million and got out, probably.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was fine. The gig was great. We had fun. And
But did you go to Woody Creek?
Yeah, we went to the Woody Creek Tavern, sat in there. It's interesting because I think I'm pretty sure it's changed hands since Hunter decided he was done here, and so it was the vibe of the place is still fine. I had fish tacos that were $30 and I was like, really? My Guinness was 12, and you're like, okay.
Oh God, it's just.
And I was like, if I was gonna, really Hunter it up, I could have done, but I was just, just the experience of being there was a little bit, commercialized for me. I wanted some fucking Hell's Angels standing outside with bats ready to fuck people up. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Not really that bad, but yeah, it was fine. I think that I have such a love for Hunter's writing that I was dragging that in there with me, and then I was like, huh. So this is where he fucking sat and got loaded and shot at people. Okay. And they had they still have all the Polaroids all over the wall and a bunch of photos of him and, cool shit like that. And I just, maybe I'm just old and curmudgeonly and just I kind of didn't, I'm glad I visited. It wasn't like a thing where I was like, it changed me, man. I felt the ghost of Hunter there and I fucking ready to write, it just didn't. But that's okay. It's probably not what it's for anymore,
Yeah.
So I was disappointed
right.
by entire weekend. I'll see myself out.
Well, very nice. Thank you very much. I'm glad you had fun.
I did have fun.
All right, well, let's get to something. So I had a conversation with someone who I did like a consult with a few years ago.
Nice.
And they have done all of the things. The ads, the streaming campaigns, the working their ass off on social media and all that. Mm-hmm. And he has realized that it's something I also was pretty honest about. Like this, I can tell you the way.
Yeah.
But
this is the way.
You may not want it.
Yeah.
Like it's going to burn you out.
Yeah.
And this is a way to be full time at it, but this may not be what you want, is to do the ads and to do the streaming campaigns and to constantly try to capture fans and get more followers and blah, blah, blah. So he was asking me, so we got to this point, they did okay, but they couldn't put as much money in as they wanted. They did take a few months off, which killed them.
Yeah.
He was like, you were right. I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it killed them. Their followers went down from 100,000 to 40,000.
Ooh, that's a big loss.
They had built, they were just about to do that next level.
Yeah.
Where you can go 100 to 250, and that's when you start really making good money on Spotify and all the streamers. By the way, it goes around everything. But yeah, you take 6 months off, you don't release 2 or 3 singles. Yeah. And it's just the way the game is set up. We didn't set it up. I just tell you how to play.
Yeah.
So he was asking me, how do you break out of the Spotify streaming trap? And by the way, it's just the streaming trap, but Spotify is the most known for this. And is it possible to make it a different way? And I was, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
It takes a lot longer, but there's a different way to do it. And so I wanted to discuss that today.
Fantastic.
So we can tell you all the things, and Stu does some music business consulting about this. I have done this before, and sometimes I do it with certain clients, but we can show you how to do a 6-month, 1-year campaign, build your followers, start making money, get more streams and all the rest of it. It's hard though. It really is. Mm-hmm. So is there a way to do it a different way, where you don't need to spend as much money, where you don't need to do daily social media posting, all that kind of stuff? Yeah, there is. You still need to, so there's a few ways. One, we've talked about this a few times, but I'll mention it here. You could just focus on writing music for sync and pitching sync. Yeah. And you may get one placement in the year that would make you more than streaming all year long.
Yes.
So you may get that $10,000, $15,000 up front. The royalties would go on for years depending on where it is.
Yeah.
And you'll still be building a catalog. You just don't release it. You just use them for pitching.
Yeah.
So that's one way. That does take a little bit of skill and networking, and you're still going to be in the grind of like building a sync business and building your contacts there and replying to briefs and understanding how to turn around music quickly. It can be very difficult. You fuck up once and you're out. That's another problem.
Yeah.
And sync people change all the time. There's a lot of tumult in the industry. So that's difficult. But for some of you, that may be the way to do it. And we can talk about that another time. The other side is that you pick a platform that isn't Spotify. You put one song on Spotify that you establish your artist profile on there. And again, when I say Spotify, I mean Apple, Tidal, Deezer, all of them.
Yeah.
If you're using DistroKid or TuneCore or whatever.
Yeah.
So you do that. Make sure that there's at least one song on there.
Yeah.
But then you go all in on SoundCloud or YouTube.
Yeah.
You can release to those for free. There are certain ways you can pay a little bit more money for SoundCloud, but those things are they're just as easily shareable. And that's different than your website with your music. Like you share your web player with somebody. Sometimes that doesn't work. It's not mobile sometimes. SoundCloud, YouTube does all that work. The other thing that you really want, and this is why I say you probably should use YouTube, is YouTube is global and you can find a better audience there.
Agreed.
You can do shorts on a relatively like once a week basis if you want to on your music. And you can still get the back end analytics. So you can still get what state, what city, the demographics. So if you are playing live and you want to do that, that helps you book those gigs. You can get a little bit of play there and go, hey, look, we've got 30,000 views here in Columbus. And so we think we can do like 200 people or 100 people here. Or we've got whatever it is. We can join a bill in LA or whatever. We've got a few people we can bring. You can find those people back through your subscriber list and through the people that replied to your videos. If you have that. So that's a way to do it. Now, it does take longer. The money isn't there. You have to get to a certain level to monetize on YouTube. You have to get to a certain level to monetize on SoundCloud, too. There is ads on both. That kind of sucks. But it's a way for you to stay relevant and have a place to drive people to where you can still capture the fan base. And you don't have to play... You can play the ad game. You can use Google Ad Manager to do YouTube ads, but you can just put them out there and do good SEO in your description, sell your band T-shirts there. It's going to be a much slower journey, but you don't have to do it every day, every month and a half releasing Spotify algorithm. You control your own platform, basically. And so... it's a way to do it. The money isn't as big. And if you're okay with that, that is another way that you can break out of the streaming trap. What do you think?
I think that is... It's one piece of the thing. The thing that always comes up is if you're doing that, you have to be doing something else to make your money in that time. It can't be, you're not going to go and just go like, you know what, I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to... But if you really want to be a musician, and I've had this conversation with a few people... Build yourself a corporate and wedding product. If you want to go and make music full time and do this piece and not spend all the money getting into the streaming trap, because you're right, that's a conversation I have with everybody before they go in and make a record with me, which is, what is your plan? Do you want to put out one thing and then wait another year and come back and do another one? Because that's going to affect how you do your release plan. Or are you going to get into this consistent cycle of every month and a half to 2 months putting out a single? Because if you're getting into that, then that changes.
Spending on it.
And spending money on it. If you're or releasing something, even if it's just an album or an EP or a collection or whatever, it's going to be, you're going to be spending money on that, and then I want you to double your budget. Because half of it's for the recording and then half of it's for promotion. But if you can build yourself a cover band, and I know. It may not. It may be a little bit of a soul suck, but I know for a fact that you can make 6 figures playing weddings in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I know you can do that if you want to make money playing music. And I'll tell you what, there's this Mark Manson, the guy who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, kind of had this idea. It's a total stoic thing, but it's just the idea of choosing your pain, right? So if you have a choice between, working at a day job you hate 40 hours a week to make that money, or doing 10 wedding gigs during the summer to make that money, choose which one is going to give you the least amount, the pain that you want to, that will get you where you want to go. Because I guarantee you, playing a wedding gig will net you more benefits for your music career than sitting in a fucking office staring at your dick all day.
Yeah.
Because you'll be playing.
Unless that's your job on OnlyFans, but yes.
Well, that's why somebody else likes to stare at my dick on OnlyFans. But yeah, that's just there's ways for you. It's your career. It's you can design it and build it however you want to do. I mean, the way to really do the corporate and wedding thing is you have to find out who's doing it in your area, make yourself a promo video, make sure everybody dresses like an adult, not wearing flame shirts, and
it's still funny.
It's still fun. Yes, please. Can we not with the flame shirts? Like, put on a fucking suit.
Hot Topic is still open.
Hot Topic. I'm gonna say Hot Stopic.
Hot Topic.
Oh. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, please make it look like you're classy as fuck. The thing is you want to be telling people you're getting $1 million band for $40,000 a night or whatever they decide to price it at. And then go out and figure out your marketplace. Figure out what people are. It's the same thing as anything else, but it's a lot easier to start making money quickly in that place than it is to start making money quickly on streaming. So you can actually leverage your day job of being in a corporate wedding, performance thing where you're basically fucking wallpaper until you play I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack for the first dance. And then, you really got to make sure you don't fuck it up.
That's true.
And this grandma's going to be furious. And, there's ways that you can take pieces of it.
The benefits to it are huge. You become a better player. You become better live.
You become better MC.
Better with your bandmates.
You become better MC. You get better at running a crowd, running a room. And that is a huge piece of it. Because anytime you're spending time on stage, you're getting that experience, and that's going to make a huge difference to your live performance for your original stuff. Find a way to do all of it. Do both. Fuck it. It's yours. Build it into whatever, make your own collage, make your own thing. I just hope both teams have a great time.
Yeah, and I mean, I would also back that up with saying you can do two sides of that same coin with spring summer for weddings and maybe even corporate picnics.
Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah,
and then complement that with a holiday show.
Holiday shows.
I mean, most of us that have done that kind of thing, you make like the majority of your money between November and the end of December.
Yeah.
And it is just so much money. It's hard. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the weather's a little bit rougher, but boy, is it fun. And the thing is that like you can do that. I think that there's a sea change probably in the last 10 years where the dude, the chick or whatever in a cover band, it's a professional cover band, not the cover band down at the local bar. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a cover band that like basically, can do like a big show, like a very good tight show, multiple sets. You can take a request, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The band can learn new songs. It's not just what you want to do. You're there for the client.
Yeah.
But like where that is not seen as a downside anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if someone finds out that you have a personal project too, an artist project, it's not going to be held against you. There's so many people that do like original music that get known for covers. That's fine. Like there's not as much of a downside as there used to be of like, oh, you're in a cover band. And you're like, yeah, I made $20,000 last weekend.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different now, especially when you do it in a corporate side.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm sorry, how much did you make at the little bar?
Yeah. And it's,
You know.
I'm not going to, I also know for a fact that the corporate gigs I enjoy, the bar gigs I enjoy, the original gigs I enjoy. They're all parts, they're all the many-faceted animal that is me, all part of that, right? My friend Jenny calls it the multi-passionate association. Like, there's just a lot of shit you like to do, and so you just do all of it. But the idea that the corporate band idea is, you're not serving yourself in that environment. You're serving the customer. You will learn to read a room real fucking fast when you're playing for people that are basically paying your mortgage for the month.
Just real quick, let me make a distinction here. When I say that, what I mean is that sometimes there's a cover band or a band that does covers at the local bar, and they do it in their style.
Yes.
You know, like they'll do Metallica in a lounge style or something like that. On the corporate level, when they want to hear whatever the pop song is, they want to hear it closest to what Bruno Mars did it.
Yes.
Not your version.
Not your version.
And so that's what I'm talking about. There's a difference between the corporate pay side and like sort of the general cover band fucking around up there doing our own versions of songs. Like, they do want you to do fairly close to what people are going to... They want their people to not think about shit, so they're just drinking, and they get up and they dance, and they're like, oh my God, I love this song.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
There was that reared its head a few years ago when I had one guy in my lead guitar position in my band, and he couldn't make it to a gig, so I hired another guy who just put out a great video about the smallest wireless. He came in and he played all of the parts perfectly. He played the keyboard lines. He had all of it down, and basically I just looked at the guy who wasn't able to make it and said, "Sorry, man, that guy wins. Way fucking better than you. Better personality, better play. Not a better player, but more equipped to do this gig better."
Yeah.
And I thought that was, that makes a huge difference. Not everybody can do that,
Yeah.
So,
and that's not like an Eddie Van Halen. Like, that's, that's the difference is that there is, you may be on that artist track and this may not be for you, but for most of you, You've already learned songs. You already know how to learn songs. You already play covers on your own, or you hear a song, you're like, "Ooh, I want to learn that."
Yeah.
You're not too far away from building out a 60-song list and putting it on an iPad and getting together a band and figuring out a light show and timing it and getting it right and having some extras. You're not too far away. It's not unattainable.
Yeah.
Especially when you think of like, okay, releasing an originally produced and mixed, mastered song with artwork and ads every month and a half, and doing 40 pieces of content every week, trying to run up your streams to make the money back for the ads.
Yeah.
That's further away. Now that is a track. If you're an artist,
absolutely,
that's a track. But this is what we're saying is that there are other ways to do this.
Yeah.
And while you do that, right, then you have that YouTube site or that SoundCloud site where your personal music resides, and stay off of the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Stay off of it.
Yeah.
And it's that, because the difference there is on demand. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what we're saying here.
Yeah.
It's on demand. You can send people to your SoundCloud or send people to your YouTube, and it is on demand. It's not an algorithmic thing. It won't be hidden.
Yeah.
And so and you can also use those embeds from either one of those sites on your website to kind of complete keeping people in your flow.
Yeah.
But that's how you do it. You keep your artist's profile up and you have one song, maybe release one song a year on it just to keep it refreshed.
Yeah.
And you go all in on those other platforms. So pick one of them.
Yeah. I think that's a great alternative to the traditional thing. By the way, I would like to point out, when the trio played at this Aspen gig, it was 3 dudes. And there were these two ladies that I'm acquainted with. They run a horse rescue out in Franktown near here. And they kept telling me, "Play ABBA." I was like, "Do you see any blonde Swedes up here?" And I was like, the physical band I was like, there's no way Trevor's the only backup singer in that project. So we were doing a lot of country. I did a bunch of Clint Black, Alan Jackson, that kind of stuff. And it was just like, "ABBA? The fuck you been watching this whole time?" So you have to put up
You
with
know
that
what's
too.
hilarious?
What?
Here's what's funny. This is the difference between you and that 16-year-old DJ.
What?
He played ABBA. It wasn't a part of the 80s rock show, but boy, did he play ABBA.
Was it the soundtrack to Chess, the musical?
No.
Now that is a drop right there. That is a deep cut from...
Good Lord.
You're welcome.
Wasn't that Falco?
No, that was Benny and Bjorn wrote the music for that.
Chess the musical.
Yeah. And so, and that's we had we got One Night in Bangkok, which is what I did yesterday.
Hold on, that's Falco.
No, it's not.
Hold on.
Oh, are you gonna out me?
Murray had.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Hold on.
It was an original.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
What song did Falco do? Amadeus?
Rock Me Amadeus, yeah. Song from the concept album and subsequent musical Chess by Tim Rice, Benny Anderson, and Bjorn Ulvaeus. The British actor and
Falco
singer
did Der Kammer
Murray Head raps the verses, while the chorus is sung by Anders Glenberg, a Swedish singer, songwriter, and producer.
That's right. Falco did Der Kommissar.
Don't turn around.
Sorry.
Oh, Falco.
Der Kommissar's in town. It's so fucking
Hasselhoff
German.
was so fucking big in Germany.
I lost that 80s trivia.
You lost that on One Night in Bangkok? Really? Do you know the only reason I know that?
I just did. I just lost it to you. I just screwed that up.
Yes, please present me with my cape and scepter. I will be wandering around as king of the 80s trivia. The only reason I know that is because my parents were huge ABBA fans, and they had the Chess soundtrack on. It's the most boring musical you'll ever see in your fucking entire life. The music is amazing. The stage show was the most boring thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like we're watching chess pieces move around.
Wow. Yeah, that's
riveting stuff.
That's difficult.
And there's a lot.
Did you know the story of Falco?
No. Would you like to regale us with the tale of Falco?
I gotta give you a little bit. Der Kommissar, that's the big hit or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a statue in Austria
Oh, fantastic.
of Falco. And there's a very ornate gravesite from Falco. I did not know he was dead, first of all.
Oh, no, I didn't either.
But he died of severe injuries in 1998 before his 41st birthday. Collided with a bus on a road in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
He was planning a comeback. And his posthumously released album, Out of the Dark into the Light, came out afterwards. His body was returned to his beloved home of Austria and buried at the Vienna Central Cemetery.
Wow.
But there's like a whole thing there. There was a tribute to Falco.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that. He was kind of a one-hit wonder, I thought. But
yeah.
But he has like...
Wow.
10 albums?
I had no idea.
Like, it's a bunch. I had no idea. Anyway,
No idea. That's fantastic.
Shout out to Falco.
Shout out to Falco. How unfortunate.
All right, so that's the. By the way, so start out, do high school musicals, right?
Yep.
Get yourself a SoundCloud or a YouTube and go all in on it. And by the way, when I say YouTube, you don't have to create a video for every song. Just put up a piece of artwork. You're fine.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of things, try to get into some corporate cover band stuff for weddings. Figure out what those kind of songs are. Sometimes they're more country oriented. Sometimes they're more pop oriented.
Yeah.
They are rarely rap oriented.
Oh, well, yeah. That's sometimes.
Rarely. Don't start with me. They
Sometimes.
are rarely rap oriented.
When you say rap oriented, you mean like as an overall genre for an entire night?
Yes, most corporate people like, I don't want a 2-hour rap show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Most. I'm not saying not all. But I mean, they would far more get like sort of a, I don't know, like an R&B kind of show before they would get a rap show.
That is fair.
Somewhere.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leg wrestle you in public on that one.
But I knew you'd be like, everyone's included. No, they aren't. And no one's going to fucking... So also don't start a Nine Inch Nails industrial band corporate thing. Not to say that there aren't some songs. I'm just saying mostly... You'll see. Look at the other bands that are making money.
Yeah.
Look at their sets.
Yeah.
You'll see.
We even do like...
Okay, so how do you do that? Let me get into this really quick because this will wrap this up.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Think about it as if you are a rich talent buyer for a company
Yep.
and you want to book a band for your corporate retreat or your wedding party in the summer, and think about like you have 200 or 300 people, 400 people, something like that. And you're like, okay, so search your city, your town for those bands. And you will find them. Then you will see their EPKs. And most of the times they have a set list. And most of the times they have other songs that we've played.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll have videos of places they've played or corporations they've played for.
Yeah.
And boom, you're in.
Urine.
Then you find a little way to differentiate yourself.
Yep.
It may be that you get a female singer to make sure that you can do more of those songs. So it's not just a bunch of sausages up there. It may be that you get like a horn section, or you get someone who's really good on keyboard, so you could do some of those songs that maybe there's a hole in the scene that those people aren't doing those kind of those songs.
Yeah.
So that's the way you get in very quickly. That's how you figure it out. Okay?
Yeah.
There you go.
Do your market research.
Yeah, but do your market research as if you're trying to hire that band. And hell, I would even say reach out to them with a fake email if you want.
And see how it goes.
You can figure out how they do it. You can figure out their prices that way.
Fuck yeah, you can. And that gives you some serious market. And that's one of the things that was really difficult at first, is like learning to not undervalue what you think is, most people undervalue what they think it should cost for that. And
anyway.
Especially
if you're in the original music scene.
You're make $150 a night.
Is it $1,000? Is it $500?
No.
And then you're like, they're paying $10,000 for the night? Jesus.
Yeah.
And rooms?
Yep. And rooms and meals.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
And everything you said is perfect. So let us.
Let's cut that. Snap that, Kelsey.
Everything you said was perfect.
Everything you said is perfect.
Can I say it in Falco speak? Everything you said was perfect.
Yeah,
Don't turn around. The Michael's back in town.
I feel bad now.
About Falco being dead.
Yeah.
By the way, I found out because I was on a John Candy kick over the weekend that John Candy was only 43 when he died. He was fucking young. Like, you and I are twice his age.
You and I. Yes, we are. Well, you are almost that, but I'm definitely over that.
Yeah, it's
85, 86.
Yeah, great year for rock. It was just like, so Falco 41, John Candy 43. Wow.
It ain't right. Take care of yourselves, people.
Please, thank you. Just go for a fucking walk every now and then, would you?
Yeah.
All right, much. That's enough of that shit.
All right, let's get to Sync of the Week here. The Sync of
By the way, I got so much shit via text over the last 48 hours for my backup sync being Coldplay.
Jesus, good. Drag him.
Boo!
Boo this man. I will get us started off with.
Yes, please.
I'm going to go with Expats. I think I spoke about this show a few weeks ago, a few months ago, whenever. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Episode 6, season 1. This is a show on Prime with Nicole Kidman. It's called Expats. It's about the intersection of 3 women's lives who are English speaking. They're all from different places, but they're basically from America.
Yeah.
And they live in Hong Kong. And it's all about what Hong Kong is like for them through their eyes, and then also through a lot of the people that work for lack of a better word, white people in expats land in Hong Kong. I still, dude, I'm 7-8 episodes into this. I still don't know if I like it.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's unsettling. It's just an unsettling show, But there's some great needle drops in it. So in episode 6, Safe and Sound by Capital Cities.
Ooh, great song.
Which is a great sync song. It's been used a lot, but it worked really well in this, where you have this Korean-American woman that's walking through the city, and she's pregnant.
Yes.
And she's walking through Hong Kong through all of these people, and there are protests going on in Hong Kong, and she has it in her. So unlike other syncs, most of the syncs within Expats happen in that world. So remember, my other one was Blondie, and it was them listening to it in a restaurant,
Nice.
in a pho place.
Yeah.
And they were stood up and danced to it. This was her walking, listening to it in headphones.
Yes.
So she's actually listening to the same song you are. There's an emotional connection that happens to that. It's a very small distinction, but music supervisors, it's a really weird line to cross. I've done it both ways, where you have the music is the ambiance. It's basically the narrator over the video.
Yeah.
Or the music is what you're watching in the show. And when those two things, when you have to make that decision, it's kind of a director's decision, obviously. But it changes the emotional state of it.
Yeah.
And so her doing this, so you have to be much more literal or much more anti-literal. Like there's very little lines to cross. You either have to be cringy or very literal to it, basically.
Yeah.
And this was very literal. It was her walking through like massive protests, and she's pregnant and the world's just falling apart around her.
Yeah.
And she's having this moment of safe and sound.
Nice.
And it's this really boppy moment. So it was a great drop, and so that is Susan Jacobs,
Very
music
nice.
supervisor. Best I can tell. There are like two of them. Dylan is another one in there, but for Expats and Prime, that's my sync of the week.
Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. That's well done. I'm going to present something that I'm not sure exactly how to allocate this as a sync, but I'm going to. I've been romantically seeing a young lady, and she introduced me to one of her favorite films, Dan in Real Life with Steve Carell. And in that there was a performance of a song by Dane Cook and the comedian who now looks like a handbag, and excuse me. A lot of coffee.
Poor Dane took a stray there.
Yeah. And Norbert Leo Butz, B-U-T-Z, they performed a song that they also wrote called Ruthie Pigface Draper. In the movie, they're sitting at a piano. They're sending Steve Carell's character out on a date with a girl who apparently had a pig face when they were children. And it actually turns out to be the extremely hot Emily Blunt. So they were making fun of her, and it turns out she's actually gorgeous. It was a very, very fun endeavor. And that movie, it's like a cardigan. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. It's the soundtrack is very Nordic singer-songwriter. It's set in Rhode Island. It's got the vibes.
Makes sense.
And so basically, the whole thing, you wear it like you're wearing a sweater. It was just a fun little diversionary piece, and it's very sweet film, and you know how I like my sweetness. But the song is it's kind of mocking, and it's very funny. It's well done. It's very fun.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that. Ruthie Pigface Draper, and that is Dana Sano, S-A-N-O, the supervisor on that. And most of the soundtrack is by Sondre Lerche, and who's a Swedish performer. A lot of reminded me, had kind of Garden State kind of vibes about it. The whole thing. Regina Spektor shows up on a tune. It's like
nice.
it's a cool soundtrack, and I dug it. But I don't know how do you allocate something like that, because it's not a song. It's a song specifically written for that set piece in the film.
Yeah,
and it was listed in the thing as, this is a song on the soundtrack written by Dane Cook, and
they'll release it on the soundtrack. It becomes not a single, but it becomes a track.
Yeah. So I just
and they become performers. That's the band name, or the artist name.
Yeah.
And a lot of times though, like the movie it depends on who wrote the actual the words to it and stuff, but sometimes the movie becomes the publisher.
According to this, it was written by Norbert Leo Butz and Dane Cook.
Yeah. So that would be like the artist name.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's mine for the week. I was just curious about like that kind of stuff, because it's not something it's not like the supervisor went out and said, I need a perfect song to sit under this set piece in the film. Right. It's like they basically kind of like improv wrote something in the room about this young lady who had a little perky nose, shall we say.
So I knew a music supervisor, Alex, years ago that she was working on a project that was kind of like that. And that's what happens is that they go and they try to find the song that would work for that scene. Mm-hmm. You know, like in pre-production, and a director gives you sort of like, here's the cues that I'm looking for. Here's kind of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
These kind of match where the script is going. Let's get going on that. And this is kind of a wild card here.
Yeah.
This is going to be about like a teenage girl or whatever. And if you can't really find it and you have the right actors in it,
Yeah.
And they may improv it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, well, fuck it. Let's not find the drop.
Let's just use that.
Let's just do it. Yeah, we'll just do it and give it to you.
Fantastic.
I will tell you, Dane and he probably got paid separately for it because it's outside of SAG.
Oh, gotcha.
Outside of that. So that still would come out of the music budget as a cue. Mm-hmm. It still would be published somewhere. It still will be, you know, the difference is that it probably won't be synced anywhere else.
Yeah. Why? Is it specific to that
because
film?
it becomes so well known with that movie or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be the difference. But yeah,
It's a very
that's interesting.
Very fun movie.
That's great.
Yeah. There you go.
What is a pig face?
Pig. P-I-G.
Oh, P-I-G, pig face. Okay. I'm sorry. I was like, God, I don't know what the kids are talking about. What's
There was a really horrible
Even though
joke
this
my
is
father used to tell.
clearly 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's 17 years ago. Yeah, 2007. My father used to have a joke which he would say.
I bet it was on MySpace.
He said, my father used to say he was so ugly, if his face was on fire, nobody would put it out with an ice pick.
That's what your father told you?
My father once told me that joke about somebody once.
Oh, but not to you?
Not to me. Not to me.
Oh, I was going to say, well, wow. No
That's
wonder you're all about both teams. I'm really sorry. Should we explore this a little bit about your father?
Do you need to lie down and tell me about your mother for a second?
You're so ugly, son.
No, it wasn't directed at me. He was making a joke at the expense of, I believe, probably somebody like Keith Richards. No, it was about... Yeah.
It's just horrible.
He would have got slapped in the balls by my mother for that.
Yeah, totally. Ruthie Pigface Draper.
Yes, Pigface.
Okay.
Draper. Pigface. Not Pigface.
Pigface is weird, though. Like,
well, maybe like a face like a guitar pick, kind of a, like a...
Well, I was like a plectrum.
Like a plectrum. Ooh, that's a fancy word for it.
I know. I've been listening to a lot of English people. The way he uses plectrum, what is it?
I just found it the other day. I was going through a box of shit, like just pulling out some stuff for the studio. And I found that somebody bought me probably 30 years ago a sixpence pick. It's not an official Brian May, because he does have some with his carved down with his face on the back of it. But it's literally what he uses as a pick. And
right.
somebody's like... in my family, when I was maybe 14 or 15, knowing I was such a huge fucking Brian May fan, said, "Hey, you got it, mate? Have that." It's like, fuck yeah! I found it in a box the other day. So it's now.
Wow,
I'm going to use
really
it.
Cool.
I'm going to use it on a session tomorrow. I'm excited
Very
about
nice.
that. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, let's wrap this sucker up. Speaking of which, you should check out StuMillerMusic.com.
Thank you.
Because he's in the session tomorrow. If you want to get in on another session with him, you better get in there. Go to StuMillerMusic.com. Email him. Call him. Text him.
Please.
Do you still have a beeper?
I still have the beeper. But
Text boobs to 77883.
It's also, it's where I, do make my sales of, my illicit materials.
That's true.
Just kidding.
Absolutely. But you can find out all the things that he does over there,
yep.
and that's really fun. Hey, remember to rate and subscribe and give us 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts. We'd really love for you to leave a hilarious comment, some cuss words. Nothing got through this week. Apple, it's okay.
That's
all right.
So they've all been stopped by the censors.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm seeing them or if I'm not seeing them or what's going on. But yeah, you can go over there. But honestly, the stars, they help us. Also subscribe, ring that bell over there on YouTube. Thank you so much for all of our brand new subscribers on YouTube. We really appreciate you hanging with us there. At 2ShotsMusicPod, wherever you follow people, that's the number 2ShotsMusicPod. And you can email us anytime. Send us questions, feet pick, whatever. At 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. That's the number 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. And until next week, when we talk to you, we hope you write a great song, use your plectrum. And hey, you high school musical kids, thanks for all the work you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to make it. You're going to do it.
Fucking
it's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. We love you. Goodbye.
Hey, number 50, well done.
Goodbye. That's him. That's him, DJ. Love you, kid.